Welcoming everybody. Welcome to Narc Survival 101. I normally do my lives weekly at 8 o'clock. I was running late because I was making dinner for my son. But I'm here. So for anyone who is not new, who is joining us, please show yourself. Hi, Stella. Hi, sweetheart. Anyone who is not new to the channel, please show yourself. And for anyone who is new to the channel, show yourself too, okay? It's a safe space for everybody. It's a place for people who are victims, or who were victims, I should say, of narcissistic domestic abuse. Men and women alike. It's not just for women. Guys, fellas, you're welcome too, okay? Hi, Quincy. Virgin Holly, hi, sweetheart. Hi, Michelle, how are you? Welcome. Let a few more people come in. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Again, men and women alike, okay? Survivors. You guys are survivors. Remember that, all right? If you've been a victim of narcissistic abuse, domestic abuse, and domestic abuse doesn't just have to be physical domestic abuse. It could be verbal, it could be emotional, it could be psychological, okay? This is a safe space for you. This is a judgment-free zone. We don't do any of that over here, okay? We don't do any of that over here. And most of you who do know me, you guys already know how I'm going to run my disclaimer. I'm just going to give it a little bit and then we're going to get into it. Hi, Dazzle. How are you, sweetheart? We have Raul. Hi. Rare breed. I'm glad, sweetheart. I'm glad you've been, and I know that sharing a story is hard, which is actually something I wanted to talk about today too, guys. But I know that sharing your story, it can seem difficult because, given the fact that we live in a society where people people, a lot of people, well, let's put it this way, people fear what they don't understand, right? A lot of people fear what they don't understand, and you're always going to have people trying to tell you otherwise. Maybe it was this, maybe it was that, trying to put other stuff in your head, and stick with it, stay with it, okay? You know your story, you know your truth. Stay with it. Do not deter from it, and don't question yourself. Do not question yourself about it. So, all right, so I see already. I guess we're gonna have to get started on this disclaimer, aren't we? So first and foremost, let's get into it, guys. First and foremost, just to let everyone know, those who are new, okay, who are joining the live for the first time, even if you follow me, I am not a medical professional, not yet. I'm not a licensed therapist yet. Okay. I'm simply someone who has gone through some shit just like you did. And I did my due diligence in healing and researching and studying psychology and learning the different types of personality disorders. I'm still working on it. I'm still learning. And I'm happy to say that I'm excelling as we go along. Okay. So this isn't my first rodeo. I'm not new to the game, been in it for a few years. And, if you want some help, possibly advice, or if you just have questions, by all means, you can ask. But if you are currently receiving therapy, please continue to do so. Okay, this is not meant to replace therapy. It's not meant to. It's not meant to dictate your life or tell you what to do. Okay. Number two, I don't do bullying. Let me repeat that. I don't do bullying. People who are in this chat, people who follow this channel have been through enough shit. So at the end of the day, hope that my moderators get to you if you're the type that likes to bully people, if you're the type that likes to really, really just, I'm from New York, and if you know how we are, we come straight with attitude, okay? Do not think for a second that I am a social media influencer, that I have to sit here and watch what I say. I don't, and I won't. So, with that being said, if you're looking to bully, you're better off getting out of the chat right now as we speak. Because if my moderators don't get to you, I will. Okay? And trust me, I got the mouth of a fucking sailor. You dig? Just saying. And of course, number 3, my beautiful people, my queens, my kings, people who are looking to go on their healing journey, people who are looking to release themselves of these putrid, disgusting, dishonorable people. Throw up those purple hearts for me, please. Okay, for domestic violence awareness, for narcissistic abuse awareness, giving voices to the voiceless. Okay, for people who have not managed to get through it, have not managed to get out of it, and are still struggling. Please, please, please throw up those hearts for me. I love it. I see them already. Thank you so much, guys. So much for the support. So much for the love. Let's get into it, guys. Turner family, what's your advice on an abusive husband? Leave him. Leave him. That's the best advice I can give you, sweetheart. Leave them. Walk away. Don't turn back. Okay? Abusive people are abusive because they adopted those behaviors from people who have been abusive in their lives. Okay? And at the end of the day, if they've managed to show you once, twice, 3 times, people who go back and forth to the same types of relationships with the same person or the same people, it's not going to ever change. It will not change. That person will not change. And given the fact that they've managed to, and thank you so much, guys, for the gifts. Thank you so, so very much. If I don't get to thank you personally, thank you. I've learned that people who live off of abusive behaviors, by that, they have a certain form of dominance. Okay? An abusive person uses your fears to control you. Okay? They find out what your fears are, they find out what your insecurities are, and they use it against you. All right? So if you've ever been in an abusive relationship, and if you notice you're getting into arguments, you're getting into constant bickering, constant fights, even if you find them in the wrong, you know that they're wrong, right? But they get very aggressive. Thank you so much for that, sweetheart. Thank you. If you find them aggressive, and just keep in mind, guys, I noticed someone mentioned their mother. I want to keep this in mind with you guys. These forms of abuse do not just go with relationships, romantic relationships. They can be your family members, they can be your friends, they can be your colleagues, they can even be the people that you go to church with. Okay? The same people who claim to believe in God and praise God, it could be them too. Okay? So just apply it where you need to. But when someone is abusive, it's because they've been emasculated throughout their lives, whether they be a man or a woman. They've been emasculated. They've had their identity stripped from them and pretty much have projected, abuse projected onto them. That automatically became their defense mechanism. All right. Now, one of the things I want to explain is that we make no excuses for these abusers, right? Because at the end of the day, just like an abuser is created, so is someone who is still empathetic, still sincere, still loving from abusive lifestyles. Meaning that you could have been abused as a child, you could have grown up with abuse and not turn out to be like your abuser, okay? You've seen the logic in this is wrong, I'm not going to do this. And you continue to move on in your life, not being an abusive person. This is what separates us from them. Okay. And this is why abuse is never an excuse. People say, well, this person beat their wife, or this person beat their husband because they were abused as kids. That's not an excuse. That is not an excuse. Okay. If I've had an abusive lifestyle, I've not grown up to be an abuser. What's their reason? Okay. But yeah, definitely leave them. Walk away. Do not turn back. Do not look back. Get in the car. Put your foot on the gas. Keep going forward. KD, there is also a genetic component to some violence. That is true. That is absolutely true. You see, we got to understand something, because someone who has a personality disorder, someone who has any kind of mental illness, because a lot of the time, I mean, what family doesn't have mental illness? What family doesn't have any form of mental illness that runs within the deep roots of their family? I can't think of one family that doesn't, because at the end of the day, this is something that, we've grown up with for probably centuries, and it's just now becoming more of a bigger awareness. Okay. Sociopaths, for example, have that component. Male sociopaths, there is a gene that is usually passed on from the father down to the son. Okay. So there are certain factors, which you're right, there are other factors, but what we focus on here, because at the end of the day, things that are inherited, what we basically have to look at is the consciousness. We have to look at the awareness. Someone is aware and they're conscious. They make conscious choices to do certain things. Psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists, okay? It does not matter if you have a personality disorder. It doesn't matter if there is a form of a mental illness, with the exception of, and I'm still looking into this, schizophrenia or split personality disorder. You have therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists who work with people who suffer these other forms of disorders where they are completely unaware. Okay, they're unaware of what it is that they do due to these split personalities. But at the end of the day, when we're discussing narcissists, we're discussing sociopaths and psychopaths. They are clearly aware of what it is they're doing. Okay, they're pathological. They are pathological. They are basically, they go in patterns. Now, one of the things that I notice that people do mention is that, oh, well, they do this intentionally. They get into a relationship with you and it's all intentional. It's like, okay, they targeted you, boom, and it's intentional. Now, can we say that about all of them? I can honestly say that we're going to give the benefit of the doubt on this one, okay? Let's say 50% of them are intentional and the other 50% of them are pretty much, it's just that defense mechanism where they are aware of their, decisions. We all are aware of the choices that we make, okay? But that's their defense. That's pretty much their way of living, their way of life, okay? Where if they meet you, they get into a relationship with you, yeah, let's say they're a narcissist and everything is great in the beginning, right? And let's just say they did not look at you as far as, I want to destroy you. I want to take what I can from you and get something out of it. Let's just say that. We're saying this for argument's sake. Regardless of that, it's a defense mechanism that they have as their shield. The behaviors are still going to be the same. How they handle your relationship is still going to be the same. Okay? It's still going to be, the outcome is still going to be the same. Narcissists are known to being very, what did I tell you guys before? They're known to being very bored people. They get bored with life easily, okay? The reason it feels so great in the beginning is because it's exciting. You're exciting. You're new. You are someone who, tickled their fancy. You made them feel good, okay? You gave them compliments. You gave them, this feeling of elation. You pretty much fed their ego. You fed their ego, okay? You put them on the pedestal. And simultaneously, they did the same for you. They did it for you. But that was pretty much them mirroring your actions, okay? It's pretty much, I'm going to do for you what you did for me, because it's going to show you that, we're on the same page. We're here, right? But over time, you'll notice those things will change. All of that will change, okay? The sweet things they would tell you, that stops. The way they would look at you, that stops. Where they would look at you with caring eyes and sweet eyes, and they made you feel really good about being in their presence, and it was about you. It was all about you. All of that comes to a stop, because now when they're getting to the point that, one, they're going to pull you down from your pedestal, they're going to start devaluing you, all right? Because You're feeling like you're on cloud nine, and they have to pull you down from that. They have to pretty much say, nah, 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 nah. Because there's only room for one person to really feel elated in this relationship, and that's me. All right. So they'll begin to start to tear you down. And it might not be, it could be subtle. It doesn't have to be flat out. Okay. It could be pretty subtle. They start taking things away from you. They start minimizing the time that they spend. They start to, minimize the amount of compliments they give you. And then what happens? They start to point out all of your flaws. What's wrong with you. So if the relationship you notice is going topsy-turvy in your relationship, it's going topsy-turvy pretty much because they're the ones who hold the reins and they say what goes. They can point out any one of your flaws. They can point out many of them, and it's almost as if it's justifying why they're withdrawing, why they are devaluing you in the process. Light bright had me thinking I was losing it. The amount of gaslighting you will more than likely, or you have endured in your relationship, it exceeds, it probably exceeds any other kind of manipulation you may have endured in any other relationship that you were with. Okay. And what makes this particular type of relationship so different from any other relationship you had, because remember, not every relationship is a narcissistically abusive relationship. I wanted to actually debunk a few things, because one thing I'm noticing um, certain things being put out on social media, certain things that people are, pretty much, it's kind of like if someone says something, well, something, I experience certain things that's kind of similar to that. So I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to say something, and then so forth and so on. And it becomes carbon copy, where it goes from, it starts with, just A, B, and C. And next, it's all the way up to Z. And then all of a sudden, everybody's dating narcissists. Everybody has a narcissistic ex. Look, I would never, ever deny someone their experience, nor would I invalidate them. But I want people to understand something, okay? I have no doubt in my mind that a lot of you have gone through what you went through. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind. And at the end of the day, I'm no one to say if you dealt with a narc or not, okay? Truth be told, the only one who can really tell you that is a licensed therapist. And that's, of course, if the person goes to get evaluated. But you do pay attention to behaviors and you pay attention to patterns. And I told you guys, don't focus on the label. Don't, the word narcissist, it's just a noun. That's all it is. Don't focus on the label. Focus on behaviors, okay? Focus on patterns. Focus on how they speak to you, because narcissists, they love to use reverse psychology too. Okay. Focus on how they speak to you. Focus on how they deflect. Focus on how they gaslight you. Okay. These are the things we have to focus on. And when I notice that people are, because the reason a lot of other people are invalidating real true survivors, real true victims, is because somebody says something and then boom, everybody else, they make it seem like, well, everybody else is jumping on the bandwagon. And now, the word narcissist gets flung around. You have more chances of meeting people who are narcissistic, okay? Which is derivative of a narcissist. Thank you so much for that, my love. Which is derivative of a narcissist, meaning they have all of the behaviors, all of the patterns. And, you would think that but if they're not classified, if they're not diagnosed as a narcissist, as someone who has NPD, they won't be classified as that. But nonetheless, guys, you went through what you went through, okay? And that's the key thing that we got to focus on. Also, bear in mind, and this is where I want you guys to use your discernment, okay? Use your discernment, because narcissists can jump on the victims, survivors, for lack of a better term, bandwagon, meaning they're trying to, they could jump on our boat. People who are actually survivors of this form of abuse, they try to jump on the boat because they try to blame the victim, and they try to pose the victim as being a narcissist. Okay. I saw a video, and listen, I'm no one to say who is what, okay? I'm not in anyone's home. I can't tell people who they are, who they're dealing with. But I did see a video where someone was recording the person that they were dealing with, they were living with, I guess, and this person was screaming and yelling and cursing and very upset, very belligerent. Now, I sat there and listened to that video 3 times. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to be sure what exactly is this person saying and is this person doing that they are branding them a narcissist. And this person in the video was complaining. They were complaining, they were yelling, they sounded angry. And I want people to understand, if someone yells, if someone is angry, they're going to yell. That does not make them a narcissist. Okay. How many of you get angry? How I get angry and I yell when I'm angry, right? If someone's frustrated and aggravated, that doesn't make them a narcissist. I get aggravated, you get aggravated. Okay. This person was complaining about having to hold the majority of the weight in the household and so forth and so on. And granted, the way it was coming out was not cool. It wasn't cool. The way they were speaking wasn't cool towards the other person. They should have had, a adult conversation. And I noticed that the comments on this video, you had some people who were like, yeah, that person's a narcissist. Yeah, you should leave them and blah, 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 and all this stuff or whatever, already siding with that person when there are two sides to every story. But I did notice other people were saying, that doesn't sound like someone who's a narcissist. It sounds like someone who's pissed off and frustrated because they have to constantly be the one. Listen, I know what it is to be the breadwinner. I know what it is to have to struggle, okay? And I know what it is to have to do things, in with a lifestyle that, requires me to struggle. And I get aggravated and I get mad. And if somebody ever recorded me and I'm pissed off and I'm angry, yeah, it's kind of easy, especially, now when people you have narcissists who are trying to flip the script and having people believe that the victim is actually a narcissist. It would be easy for, if they're recording me and I'm saying things out of anger and frustration for them to say, "Oh, look at Erica. She's a narcissist because look, listen to this and listen to that." But they're not getting the full story. You understand what I'm saying? Use your discernment, guys. Please use your discernment. Okay? A lot of them will play the victim while the actual victim is the one who's being portrayed as a narcissist. And I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about because I'm sure a lot of you have been there. A lot of you have been there. Christian, I thought about that. I did think about that because I said to myself, he sounds really upset. He sounds upset. He just sounds like somebody who's like, reached their limit. They just reached their breaking point. And we've been there. So I actually thought about that too. I'm like, and then I mean this person was commenting back and she was like, "Oh, well, you don't know what's going on. You don't know my story, da 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 da." But at the end of the day, that person, in my opinion, now, how a narcissist, when they're yelling at you and they're talking down to you, they are demeaning you, they're degrading you, they're verbally abusing you. That is different from what I've heard. I heard someone who was upset and frustrated. I've heard demeaning, degrading words from any type of manipulator, any type of person. I've heard those things, and it just didn't. One didn't correlate with the other. But of course, because we have good people who are trying to get their stories and trying to create the awareness. Unfortunately, you're going to have some people that are going to make it a bit difficult for you guys because you do have narcs who come in as wolves in sheep's clothing and pretend to be victims. So please use your discernment and pay attention. Just pay close attention. Okay. Yes. Now, another thing I wanted to mention that we're going to debunk is that though narcissists are known to cheat, they're known to being very big cheaters. They bounce from relationship to relationship. We know all of that already. If someone cheats, that doesn't make them a narcissist. Okay. For someone to be classified as NPD, they have to have, I believe it's nine traits, characteristic traits. They have to have at least 7 out of those 9 to be classified, to be diagnosed as a narcissist, as someone who suffers NPD. Okay. If someone cheats, yes, that was a choice that they made. That was a conscious choice that they made. And if they tried to deflect onto you, their reason for cheating was because of something you did or something you said or something you didn't do, that is manipulation. Okay. But that does not necessarily make them a narcissist. Okay. It just makes them a really shitty person who was very selfish and decided to commit an act that went outside the confines of your relationship. Okay. But they are known to being notoriously known for being cheaters, whether it be physically cheating, the hypersexual narcissist, um, emotionally cheating in that they're creating new supply love triangles outside of your relationship and they're keeping contact with other people, disrespecting your relationship. They're known to do that as well. Well, Jess, okay, listen. I'm gonna tell you right now. If people get uncomfortable with the kind of content that I put up, that people put up, that are trying to help people relieve themselves from toxic relationships. It's gonna make people uncomfortable. It really is gonna make people uncomfortable. And even people with bad intentions. I couldn't say he has bad intentions, but at the end of the day, I could tell you this much. You know, if what we speak on, which is truth, makes the next person uncomfortable, then maybe they shouldn't really be living in their lies. You understand what I'm saying? It's not meant to judge people. I don't judge people because at the end of the day, who am I to judge, right? I live in a glass house myself, so I'm not going to throw stones at anybody. But if I'm speaking something on truth and it makes that person feel a little uneasy, then yeah, I can't stop being who I am, but maybe it's a sign that they need to start, looking at themselves a little better in the mirror and start changing their act. Hi Jay, how are you? Um, which of the wastes? My mom is a narcissist. She refuses to believe it and has ruined my relationship with her. They live in denial. These people are in complete denial, guys. They are in complete denial. Besides the very few self-aware narcissists, even the ones who come up on social media and help you as well in helping you understand, a lot of them live in denial because they don't see anything wrong with their behaviors. They don't see anything wrong with the things that they do. It's pretty much this is me. There's nothing wrong with me. You're the one with the problem because you're the one who can't handle my strong personality. They look at it as a very strong personality. If you're trying to tell them, be more considerate about, me and our relationship, be more considerate about the respecting this relationship, they interpret that as, I want to control you. Let me control you. Let me change you. Okay. Allow me to change you. That's how they interpret it. So if you demand respect from them, they are taking your demand for respect as you're a shitty person. You are not a man. You're not a woman. You don't know how to do anything, right? Like they will self project. I think it's like that self projection where they already have their own perception of themselves, and by you just mentioning something to them that is in no way, shape, or form meant to hurt their feelings or make them feel like a piece of crap. It's just to say, listen, I'm a person, I'm a human being, respect me. That's you telling them you have no home training and you need to, let me take over and reprogram you and retrain you. And none of those words even came out of your mouth. Everything you say to them, it will be twisted around. If you try to bring something to their attention and you try to say, you know, show me more love, be more involved in our relationship, they twist everything around. You can't tell them anything remotely negative or anything that reflects negatively on their behavior because they take that as an attack. You're trying to attack me. You're trying to confine me. Okay? These are the most contradicting people you will ever come across. They fear abandonment, but they want autonomy. They want to be left alone. Tell me where that makes sense. They fear abandonment, but they don't want you to be, like close to them. What? What? You understand? And it's weird. It's weird that their minds are just like I couldn't even listen. If I could get into a narcissist mind, trust and believe, I would give you the secret formula as to how it operates and the components of it all. But because you have so many different ones on the spectrum, and you have so many different ones who, though their behaviors are pretty much the same, they can run them at different times. They can, some of them don't love bomb, maybe in the beginning they won't love bomb, maybe it's towards the middle or towards the end, so, but these are the most contradicting people. And, contradictions, I know it's very frustrating. It's just aggravating because it's like you will never get anywhere with them. Not in an argument, not in trying to have a conversation, a simple conversation with them, not in trying to build a relationship. You will not get anywhere with them. It's always going to be one-sided. Okay. And these are the kind of people that have to have full control of everything. They have to have full control of everything. They have to know your whereabouts. They got to know where you are, who you're with. They have to know who every single person is. Okay. Because they have to make sure that nobody is a threat. They have to make sure no one is a threat to them and the supply that you are providing for them. In the meantime, if you ask them questions, or if you talk to them and say, well, this is bothering me, or that, all of a sudden you're insecure. You're insecure. You don't want me to have a life. You don't want me to have friends. You don't want me to, to be out there, and you don't trust me. You don't trust anything. And you try to convince them. It's not that I don't trust you, but there are certain things happening. And the crazy part is that you're being gaslit. And by being, with being gaslit, it's easier for them to deflect. It's easier for them to make you question what you're seeing or what you're thinking, because they're not upfront. They're not straight out with it. So if something looks, a little off, and you say, this looks a little off, but because you don't have concrete proof, because, they're like snakes. They can slither. No, that's not what you think it is. And, they always have an answer for everything. They will always have an answer for everything. I would say the time that they probably won't have the answer, and that'll probably be the time where they don't care, is after your discard, when they've already locked in the new supply. And it's like, okay, I don't have to lie to you anymore. I don't have to gaslight you anymore. I don't have to breadcrumb you anymore, because I already have something else. I already convinced this person that you're crazy and you are controlling, and you can't handle the fact that I ended things with you. But the reality of it is that they didn't end things with you, which brings me to stalking. I wanted to talk about that too. I wanted to talk about stalking too. Okay? And the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because I noticed that a lot of victims, sometimes, especially when they're in the rumination stage, they're wondering, I haven't heard from this person. I haven't seen this person. This person doesn't, bother me, or whatever the case. Not that it really matters, but understand something. And I don't care how fucking cool they play it off with you, bro, sis. They watch you. They watch you. Even if you block them, even if you deleted them, and you said, okay, I want nothing to do with this person anymore, they still watch you. They watch you from fake accounts. They may have other people watching you. They could be watching your house. Okay. They could be following you to work. Okay. They could be doing whatever. Okay. They could be sitting in the bush across the street, behind the bush with the binoculars, looking through they watch you. And even though they try to play it cool, like, oh yeah, I'm living my life, I'm doing my thing. What do I want with you? And I got this person over here. I am telling you, mark my words, they are watching you. Okay? Because even though they may have discarded you, their intentions weren't to have the discard permanent. It was never permanent for them. It was just for the time being. But if you decide to cut it off permanently and say, nah, I'm moving on, I'm not dealing with this anymore, because it did not end on their terms. Narcissists have what's called a final discard. Okay. And a final discard is where it's like the detriments of their behaviors are so bad. It's so bad that they know after that there probably is no coming back from that. Completely no coming back from that. Okay. These people have been known to put people in psych wards. Okay. People have literally lost their freaking minds. These people have been known to put people in hospitals. And I'm not talking about just, physical ailments. I'm talking emotional and mental ailments. Okay. I've explained this, and for anyone who is new, I'm going to tell it to you. Narcissistic abuse, if prolonged, if given long enough, can do serious damage to your brain over time. It can cause scarring on your brain. It can affect your memory, okay? The cognitive dissonance, dissociation. This type of abuse, if you continuously go into cycles with them, with the same person, or even stay in relationships with people similar, hold on one moment. Hold on. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It can cause damage to your brain, physically cause damage to your brain. People think emotional and mental abuse is just, listen, the person just lied to you. The person just did this. They just did that. It wasn't really that serious that you have to have. You can ask the person, have you ever faced anxiety? Have you ever had anxiety? Have you ever had panic attacks? Have you ever had a severe case of depression? Okay. Dissociation. Have you ever lost touch with reality? Have you ever done that? So much to the point, have you ever contemplated suicide because you think you're going crazy? Because you think, what world am I in? People who don't understand, they'll sit there and just kind of brush it off and say, no, it's nothing. It's nothing. The person lied to you, get over it. The person cheated on you, get over it. But they weren't there to witness the ongoing cycle of abuse, even if it was in one sitting. Remember when I told you with the trauma bonding, with the back and forth? It's back and forth. The behaviors are back and forth. That is causing you to lose touch with reality. It's causing you, and people, and I'm working on this synopsis because I'm working on a new video that I'm going to be doing. And, people often think, well, you stayed in the relationship so long, why didn't you just get up and leave? It's a lot easier said than done. When you are on the verge of leaving, they know that you're on the verge of leaving. They know that you are seeing through their bullshit. So what do? They come back and they lay it on real thick. I'll change. I can change. I promise. I'm sorry. They give you sob stories. They give you the tears. They tell you they love you. They didn't mean to do it. They won't do it again. They tell you all of these things. Then what happens? You believe them because you love them. You believe them. You stay. And what happens? It's cool for a little bit, right? It stays cool and calm for a little while. And they're convincing you, okay, maybe this person is changing. Maybe things are getting better. You know what? We're working at it. We're doing really good. And it's the same shit all over again. It's the same shit all over again. Then they revert right back into their ways, slowly. slowly. It's a slow mental torture. And this is a way to conform you. Narcissists are people who were conformed. They were conformed to be that way. So now they have to do it to you. It's so hard to explain back and forth and never knowing who they'll be from moment to moment. It and guys, again, this could be in your family too. It doesn't just have to be your lovers. It could be your family. Okay? It could be your family, it could be your friends. Maybe some people you had friendships with, and you're noticing bad behaviors in the dynamic, or you're noticing two-facedness, you're noticing certain things, and you're trying to point out, or maybe you had a narcissist friend and they ended up turning everyone against you because they were jealous of you, or because they couldn't bully you like they or manipulate you like they could everybody else. They're known to doing that, especially female narcissists. They're known to doing that. They're known to creating cliques and bullying other people. They're the worst. They're the worst. Been with mine for 7 years. He discarded me when I caught on to his BS, lies, and cheating. Because now he's found out. So now, because he's found out and he knows that you're not, this is primarily why they don't give you clarity. They don't give you clarity on situations, and also primarily why they gaslight you. They tell you what they think you want to hear, or they tell you, they tell you outlandish things to make you feel like you're seeing things. You're going crazy. No, you're out of your freaking mind. What are you talking about? I would never do that to you. Okay? What do you believe? What you want to believe? Okay? And it has you questioning things. But if you catch them flat out in the act, that's your clarity. That's your clarity. It's one hell of a painful experience to catch your partner cheating, but that is your clarity. And because you have that clarity, you could find it easier. How many of you found it easier to move on from a situation or move away from a person that you have gained clarity on if you caught them cheating on you, if you've caught them with another person, right? If you walking down the street and boom, you saw them with another guy or another girl, that gave you your clarity. That gave you your closure at the same time. It was just a matter of now you have to heal from it. When dealing with a narcissist, and especially if they're gaslighting you and they're not giving you any clarity, you have no concrete proof that they were cheating, that leaves you pretty much strung along, leaves you hanging over a cliff, by a string, because you just don't know. You just don't know. People walk away with no issues, even though it's painful as hell, guys. I know the pain, trust me. But they walk away consciously in pain, but with their head still held high, and knowing that that person is a cheater, is a liar, is a manipulator, whatever the case may be. But when you're discarded and you're not given any clarity, but you're given little bits of ideas and you're trying to piece the puzzles together, but you can't really do it because it's like you have a fog, right? You got all these puzzle pieces, but you have a fog, and you can't put the pieces together because it's like, yo, I know it's there. What's the one key thing they're going to probably tell you? Circumstantial evidence, right? In court, when there's a hung jury, when a jury can't decide on a verdict because there is circumstantial evidence, meaning that, yeah, it looks like this person did it, and all evidence points in that direction, but how sure can we really be that it was that person who committed the crime? That's the same shit they're going to use on you. Jane, he was in an imaginary relationship with me. A lot of them, and I want you guys to understand something, because I know a lot of people take it personal. A lot of people take what these people do, what these people say, the relationship, the dysfunctions, everything. A lot of them take it personal to the point where they say, so I wasn't worthy of love. I wasn't worthy. Of course you are. Of course you are. It's just that was the wrong person to have it with. That's all it is. That was just the wrong person. And for every wrong person, there's always going to be the right person. Okay? These people do not know how to emotionally connect with other people, not just you, but the person before you, the person after you. They don't know how to emotionally connect. They cannot sustain emotional connections with anyone. Okay? Friendships, family, relationships, they can't sustain emotional connections. So it's not you. It's not something you did. It's not something you didn't do. You were just being yourself. And you were giving to them the way you would have wanted to be given. You know, we treat people the way we want to be treated. And often, when people don't treat us in that same manner, we tend to automatically assume, what is it about me that I'm not getting this reciprocation? And a lot of the time, those who assume these things are a lot of the time people who are insecure, people who suffer internal insecurities. My case, I was codependent. I suffered abandonment issues. I suffered anxiety. I suffered the fear of being left, you know? So whenever someone didn't treat me right or treat me with respect or treat me accordingly, I automatically had it implanted in my head. There was something wrong with me, not that person. And I was actually taking the blame for myself. I was taking that person's behaviors, that person's actions, their, mistreatment, and I was taking that on as my burden, as something that had to do with me. Oh, no, when I learned and I went to therapy and I cut that off real quick. I cut it off real quick. And that's something I want to help you guys understand. That had nothing to do with you. None of how they treated you, if they cheated on you, if they lied to you, if they stole from you, if they did whatever, had nothing to do with you. And nothing to do with you, especially if you gave them nothing but respect, nurturing, love, decency. It had to do with them. How someone treats you has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. Okay? And it's the same for you. How you treat someone has nothing to do with them. You were treating them with love and respect and decency and honesty, right? And you were giving them that nurturing feeling. It was because of who you are. It was because of your perception of love, your perception of a good relationship, and how you perceived, this. We often love people the way we want to be loved, right? Like we give that, because that's what we would want for ourselves. And we often hope that if we do these things out of the goodness of our heart, we will get that in return. But if someone doesn't reciprocate that to you, that doesn't mean that you did something wrong or it's your fault. It's simply because they're the ones with the issues, whatever the issues are. But you got to also think of it this way too. Yeah, your relationship started off great, right? In the beginning, it started off cool. You guys were having fun. You guys were getting to know each other and vibing and having a good time. And all of a sudden, things start to change. But if you notice, you never skipped a beat. Did you skip a beat in your relationship? Did you stop doing the little things that you used to do for them? Did you stop complimenting them? Did you stop showing them love? Did you stop, validating them? Did you stop doing any of these things? No, but you noticed that their behaviors were changing, their patterns were changing, they were becoming more annoyed, they were becoming more distant and cold and harsh with their words, becoming disrespectful, condescending, getting just really nasty with you at times for no reason. And yet we took that as, oh my gosh, what did I do? What did I do wrong? And then when you bring it to their attention and say, okay, can you tell me what it is I did wrong? Well, what do you think you did wrong? And, maybe that's what I'm thinking about. Why don't you tell me what you think you did wrong? The reality of it is that they're miserable people. They're miserable. They're miserable. And the fact that they get bored very easily, okay, maybe they can't control that. Maybe that's something that, if I'm a narcissist, I can't control the fact that I get bored easily. But the fact that you can make a relationship, you can sustain it, you can uphold all of the values of it yourself, they can't do that. I think that's what pisses them off most, because they know at some point, even if they do lose you, you're going to be able to sustain something stronger and longer with someone else, possibly someone you can grow old with. Meantime, they're going to continuously be on that same boat, acting like, they'll be 65, 70 years old, trying to act like they're 30, still trying to go through different people. Or if they get to that point where they're aging, because narcissists, they got to age too, what will they end up doing? They'll probably, if they can't find anybody, any form of new supply, they may try to reconnect with exes, people from their past, and just settle for that. Because when they get older, listen, when we get older, what happens? Our skin starts to, we take good care of ourselves, but still, we have to keep in mind that certain things, gravity's not always going to be our best friend. But when they see that they're getting older and they can't get the kind of supply that they deem it matches up to their standards, they will try to go back to people from their past and try to reconnect with people from the past, because they can't do any better. And all the while, where are you going to be? You're going to be in a relationship, happy as all hell. Person's going to be loving you, loving on you, traveling with you, doing all of the things that you never knew that you deserved, because you spent all this time believing that these toxic behaviors that they project was the best you could do. How many of you fellas have dealt with a narcissistic female who had you feeling like, or ladies, because whatever your preference is, but they had you feeling like, who are you going to get that's better than me? Okay, I make you look good. I'm the one that I'm the eye candy. I'm the one that everybody looks at. I'm the one who gets the attention. I'm the one who brings the spotlight to our relationship. Who are you going to do better than me? 7 billion people on this planet, and 3.5 billion of them have vaginas, and you're going to sit here and tell me that this toxic little wannabe princess is going to sit here and tell you who are you going to get this better than me? Come on. I don't think so. 888, Cindy, please talk about female narcissistic females. Listen, and this goes for anybody. It can go for you fellas and for you ladies, whether you deal with them in your family, your friends, what have you. I don't know if you guys are keeping up with it. I don't know if you guys keep up with, some celebrities who are dealing with legal cases. But prime example is that I was reading on was Johnny Depp. The whole situation with Johnny Depp and his, I don't know, it's his ex-wife, or, well, she's soon to be ex-wife. No, that's his ex-wife. Okay. And that's a clear-cut example of how the outside image doesn't match what's going on the inside. Okay. And it's gotten so bad to the point, to protect himself. He had to protect himself. He recorded conversations. He had to. And other people got a glimpse of what type of person she is. Okay. Sometimes, listen, I want you guys to understand, I'm a bullshit detector. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have anything personal against females. I'm a woman, okay? I'm a woman myself. I don't have anything against females, but I will tell you this much, okay? For some reason, if a woman comes into my presence, okay, if my spirit don't sit right with her, that means something is there. Something is wrong, okay? Even if I don't know her, my spirit has to be able to match with yours in order for me to really, really resonate with you. But if there's something about you, not you personally, but in general, there's something about a woman that doesn't sit right with me, and something is poking at me like a sore thumb, yeah, I'm not quick to make female friends like that. Okay, I'm really really not. I know how females can be. I've grown up around them, and a lot of them are shady, opportunistic. Okay, do anything for fame, anything for money, anything for attention. I've seen a lot of them online. I've seen a lot of them, doing all kinds of stuff just to get some likes, get attention, and do whatever with it. Okay, and to each their own. That's their business. But if anybody tries to come into my my atmosphere, I don't rock with that. That's not me. I'm not the attention seeking type. But I've seen a lot of females do like really grimy things, dirty things. And it's like, yo, listen, if you feel some kind of way about someone, first of all, a lot of them are petty. Okay. Let's talk about the pettiness. Okay. The pettiness scale, when it boils down to females, is ridiculously high, especially females who feel slighted or feel rejected in any way, shape, or form. You'll notice these are the kind of females who like to like consistently post up all kinds of stuff that are like subliminals, indirects. I'm not a subliminal kind of person. If I got a problem with you, listen, it is what it is. I'll speak my piece on it. But they will literally sit there and just constantly do really, real pettiness on social media, out in the public, or try to create these cliques so they can gang up, gather up these flying monkeys. That's what a lot of them do. Okay. And it could be in your church, it could be in your house, it could be at your job. It doesn't matter who these females are. Pay attention to their behaviors. Okay? You want to know how a woman truly is? Tell her no. Tell her no. She wants something, just say no. And then sit and wait and see how she responds. See how she responds. Okay? If you tell them no, first of all, a lot of women don't like to be told no, okay? I don't like to be told no, but I accept certain things. I have to, right? Tell her no. Then just wait and see what happens, okay? Those are usually the ones that are quick to be like, oh, told me no? All right. That rejection, narcissistic females, they don't handle rejection well. They do not handle it well. And they will make it their business to try to disrupt your peace, to really poke at you, to annoy you. Okay. They will really try to come for you. And that way, but they'll do it very subtly, guys. This is where you got to be careful. And I want people to also understand, listen to other people before passing judgment. Listen to other people before passing judgment, because the person, if they're discussing certain things, especially when it boils down to females, if they are discussing other things, don't be quick to pass judgment just yet. Listen to what they have to say about it, because there are times where females will easily play the victim. All they got to do is cry a few tears and they could be playing the victim. And the reality of it is they are severely bullying that person covertly. Okay, I've seen it myself. I have seen it myself where the person was putting up all kinds of subliminals, talking all kinds of nonsense, doing all kinds of crap, okay? All while simultaneously playing to be the victim. Simultaneously, as they're bullying the other person, okay? When you see people putting up stuff and you got other people jumping on the bandwagon based on a post, they're just coming at it, they're leaving comments, and everybody's just, they're laughing and they're mocking and they're making fun and they're doing all kinds of stuff. That is a manipulator. That is a bully gathering up, recruiting people to side with them so they can use them if they feel they need to really attack their target. Okay? Be very careful with that. Absolutely. Bright says victims for life, empty spirits. I don't even know if I want to give them the title of having a spirit. You can have a soul, but a spirit, I think a spirit is more divine. Like for me, the word spirit, it just seems more divine. You know, a soul, yeah, we all have a soul, right? But I think it's like divine is more the spirit. You know, it's the true divinity of your higher power. Oh, Shenriquez, my narc is a Capricorn. Well, I'm a Capricorn too, honey, okay? But I'm the good one. I'm the good one, okay? He probably a December Capricorn. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm a January Capricorn. I'm the good one. Every sign has a good side. Every sign has a bad side, okay? So stick with me and you'll see the good side of a Capricorn, trust me. Hold on 1 second. Thank you, Bright. Thank you, sweetheart. Let me see. Yes, Beauty Baby 45 says that's one thing I had to start saying is no. And if you are familiar with being a people pleaser, especially now after everything you had gone through, get into the habit of saying no. Get into the habit of saying no, and don't let anybody make you feel guilty about it either. Okay? Don't let them make you feel guilty about it. Okay? Because at the end of the day, listen, these people, anybody can't save you any more than you can save yourself. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, my friend always tells me, don't overextend yourself. If you can do it, do it. If you can't do it, then don't do it. It's okay. You're not going to be chastised. You're not going to be castrated or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So just remember that sometimes no may not be what they want, but it may be the healthiest choice for you. You have to put yourself first. Okay? If the situation requires you to say no, then say no. Easy. No, no, no. Get a card, little card, get a Sharpie, write NO, laminate that bitch. Somebody wants to stop, just in case if they can't hear you. You understand what I'm saying? So, chosen Virgo women are just evil and toxic too. My two of my best friends are Virgos. Okay, and you know, one's August, one's September. But listen, like I said, guys, every sign has two sides to them. Okay, but it's really more about the personality. Okay, the personality. I get people all the time, you know, saying my person sign or my ex person sign was a Leo, my ex person sign was a Gemini, and this and that. Yo, no. The sign was they were a sociopath. That's what their sign is, sociopath. Okay, you know, but every one of us, we all have our own, you know, our own qualities and our own traits. And you know, I regardless of what your signs are, love you all. Okay, so you know, always try to just, you know, remember that there are positives to people who share the sign. If I butcher your name, guys, please forgive me. I want to make sure that I give you a proper shout out. If you're with a narc, this is your sign that you've been waiting on. Leave. Absolutely. Milan, Milani Michelle. Absolutely. You know, some people, listen, I'm one who leaves it, honestly, the sign of a red flag. You know, red flags are indicative of no go, can't do it. You know, maybe someone still needs to heal because you have people that are not narcissists that are, you know, victims of abuse, and they carry red flags because they're carrying those issues with them. Okay? You know, for example, if you've gone through a discard and you don't allow yourself ample time to heal, you will carry those issues with you. And you can be considered red flaggish for the next person who is healed, or the next person who had nothing to do with the abuse that you have endured. So at the end of the day, just because someone has, which you gotta, again, use your discernment. If you can't trust yourself enough to make a choice, a decision, then that's just a sign that you still need to work on yourself. Okay. But we can be red flaggish towards other people too. This is why healing is important, because then you get to come out of that fog and you get to see things a little more clearly, to where you can make better choices, better decisions, and learn how to discern as you're going into new relationships with different people. How do they move on so fast? He was in a whole relationship a week later. I never understood that after 3 years. That's because the discard, he was already planning the discard before you guys actually broke up. This was already in his mind. So he was already grooming that next person. Okay. If your discard, after the discard happened, and a week later he's in a relationship, he more than likely, probably a few months into, before the final discard, he was already grooming that person. Okay. So he was probably already, meeting up with them. Please, I'm gonna give a trigger warning. Okay. I'll give a trigger warning, guys, because I don't want to trigger anyone either, but I got to speak the reality of it. He was probably meeting with the person, communicating with them, seeing them, starting a whole new relationship on the outside of what it was that you guys had. And once he finally had confirmation that he could lock that in, when the discard came, you see him in a relationship a week later. That's because you found out a week later. That was probably going on way before the discard came. Shenriquez, yes, mine moved in with his new supply after he discarded me. Also, keep in mind, guys, and I want you guys to understand, and I'm not saying because I don't know your situation, but a lot of them also get into other relationships with other people or new supply because they may have, you know, maybe a different financial status. They may have different living conditions. Maybe that person spoils them. Like if they're dealing with someone who's willing to, buy them things and cater to them and, give them materialistic supply, that could also be a reason why they like moving super, super fast. Like if you got someone that just moved in, days or even a week after you guys had ended things, there is something there. There is something there that person has that they need to get their hands on. It has nothing really to do with the person. Nothing really to do with the person. It's all about getting their ego stroked. It's about getting their financial situations met. Okay. Guys, if you dealt with the kind of female that like, to have a lot of material things, she may have done, she may have run the discard to go be with someone who maybe has, a higher financial status, whereas, they're possibly, I'm not, knocking your finances or anything like that, but, they're possibly furnishing them, supplying them with a lot of material gifts. It could be a car. It could be, diamonds, purses, whatever. Whatever. These people are so superficial. It could be anything. And because they're getting spoiled by that, they feel more secure, or they will have more security with that next person. They don't have to love the person. They don't have to, feel emotionally, which they don't, emotionally connected with the person. They could just be doing it because that person's situation will give them the kind of lifestyle, a lavish lifestyle, or, more than what they perceive, what they think you can give them. Okay. Lawrence and, oh, wait, let me just make sure I'm reading. Our final meeting was at the bank. I sat down without acknowledging her and she flipped. She was expecting me to acknowledge her after all she put me through. Of course. Of course, because how dare you? How dare you not acknowledge me, even though I lied to you, even though I cheated, even though I, manipulated and I did whatever I wanted to do and I got away with everything I wanted to get away with, or maybe I didn't get away with everything. And yet you have the audacity to not acknowledge me. Everybody else around here acknowledges me, but you won't acknowledge me. And that shit will hurt. That will like hit them deep. That's how superficial and shallow they are. If you don't acknowledge, or if you don't give them, the as soon as they walk in the door, you don't give them the spotlight to, just, or have some kind of reaction towards them being there. It's like, how dare you? How dare you? Such audacity. Guys, I'm sure, Lawrence. I'm sure she did. I'm sure she did. And I tell you, just remember that that's what she wants. So if ever in the future, whether it be with her or anyone else that you deal with that has narcissistic tendencies, the best way to, to not interact and be involved, don't give them what they want. They want a reaction. They want you to be upset. They want you to be angry. They don't care what your emotional state is. They just want something that will feed them supply. Negative, positive, doesn't matter. Okay? Let her starve. Why do they try to come back? They try to come back for a multitude of reasons. They can try to come back because they no longer have supply. They could try to come back because their financial situations or their living situations have changed, or, they can try to come back because they lost everything and they have nowhere else to turn. You see, all these people that they indulge in, all of these activities and the things that they do that they indulge in, this is why they try not to let go or completely end things with prime supply, because you being prime supply, you were fulfilling needs that not even their own probably narcissistic parent was filling for them. Okay, you were giving them something beyond stroking the ego. You were giving them nurturing. Okay, how many people in today's society is really, please, okay, you got people who are freaking talking to or sleeping with the next person if you don't text them back the same day. That's the kind of people in today's society now. But considering the fact that you were there for them and you were giving them constant supply, you were conforming for them, you're a people pleaser, so you were pretty much bending over backwards to make them happy and do everything possible to make them feel good. They end up discarding you, doing all of this nonsense with you to go and indulge with the kind of people who would not even give them that. And even if they do end up dealing with someone on that same level as you, at some point they get bored with that person. So they can get bored with their supply and try to come back to you. They like to recycle. Okay, it's a merry-go-round for them. It's just basically, okay, now whose turn is it now? Okay, it could be a number of reasons, a whole number of reasons. Roxanne, I left him over a month ago. He blocked me from everything. What does that mean? That's just reverse. That's reverse psychology. That's reverse psychology. One, I can give you two scenarios. One, he is looking into new supply, or he has new supply and he wants to keep you away from that. Okay, he wants to keep you away from that for fear of you possibly jeopardizing what new supply that he has. Okay, because he's still, probably in the midst of grooming that person, or, really trying to truly lock that person in. Or two, he's trying to get you to react. So he figures if he blocks you, even though, they're the ones who do all of this stupid nonsense, he figures if he blocks you, it's going to get you to react. Oh, why did you block me? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? It's going to make you question everything. And it's going to make you, it's like that rubber band. It's like the rubber band effect, right? It's basically what happens when you pull the rubber band and then you let it go. This is his way of rejecting you. And since people don't like to be rejected, what happens? You go searching, or you might go looking, or it's a way to get you to come back in, to lure you back in. It's crazy. Believe it or not, it's crazy. It's a psychological mind game. It's a mind game. Psychological mind game. It's like two of the same words in one sentence. Really. But it's a mind game. That's all it is. It's a mind game. It's to get you to pretty much come back, look, look at his stuff. Or like I said, it could be if he has new supply, he needs to keep you separated. He needs to keep you separated until he knows for sure that the new supply is locked in completely, and it's fully implemented in their mind that you are the crazy one, the controlling one, the toxic one. Once they've convinced that person or the people that that's the case, then they don't care. They don't care. You could try to come at them with the full force and it doesn't matter, because they already have their blind supporters. Yeah. My ex used to block and unblock me all the time. Yeah, it's punishment. It's torture, you know. And I always say you need two players to play the game. At least two players. And if you drop out, then they're just sitting there playing with themselves, right? So tell them to grab the lotion and get to work with it. Okay? My narc ex broke off our engagement and ghosted me because I put my health first. So I guess they did you a favor. All right? They did you a favor, sweetheart. Because you know something, your health comes first. Your health does come first. So they did you a favor. Play on, player. That's it. That's it. Let them listen. They want to be by themselves. They want to be alone. They want time for themselves by themselves. Go ahead, have fun with it. Have fun with it. Let them have fun with it, guys. Oh, beauty baby, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. I took my kids and left Boston and went to Cali. Um, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I say your name right. Madam Conjure, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I hear it's beautiful out there too. So you get beautiful weather, beautiful scenery, and you get to start all over again. Oh, you got it, mama. My ex-psychopath had to hire a private detective to find me because I filed for divorce and left it. Amazing. Amazing. They have to find, I know, well, I mean, I'm in New York, so I don't really know how it works in other states. But I think in New York, you can put to file for divorce, and I think if you don't know where the other person lives, like if you literally cannot locate them, you don't know where the other person resides, you can enter it in the court, and I think it becomes like an automatic, I think after a certain amount of time. So like within 120 days or so, if that person, even if that person, as long as they don't contest it, then the divorce is automatic. Thank you, beauty baby. Thank you. I look to keep it as interesting as possible, guys. If you're just joining me or if you're new to my channel, please understand my personality is a bit of everything, but it's enough to just try to keep it light with everybody, keep it respectful with everybody, and to help build your confidence. That's my end game. My end game is to help people build their confidence, okay? Make your confidence bulletproof, okay? Because you deserve it. You deserve it. Breathing courage, yes. Yes, I'm a Brooklyn native, but I'm in Queens, so I'm representing Queens, but I was raised out in Brooklyn. So I put boundaries and they blocked me from everything because I didn't respond. I love you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you guys, you set up those boundaries, set up the boundaries, right? When you set up the boundaries, block them from all of your pages. Then what I want you to do, I want you to go get your headphones, put on that good music that gets you pumped, that gets you going. Go for a run, go for a hike, go to the gym. Start doing things that makes you feel good about yourself. Start doing things that just, whatever you want to do. You want to get your hair cut, go get your hair cut. You want to, put some braids in, hey, put some braids in. You want to get a makeover and get your nails done. Do things that make you feel good on the inside and the outside, okay? Because once you see who you are, like once you see the brand new you, you'll look in the mirror and you'll be like, what the hell was I crying about? What was I fretting over? Okay. You begin to realize the true beauty about yourself, man. You really do. Inside and out. And this is not just for the ladies, it's for the guys too. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you feel good. Do what makes you look good. You want to change things about yourself? Do it. Do it. Take a picture, send it to me. Hey, Erica, listen, I took your advice and this is what I did. By all means, okay? That's what I want to hear. I want to hear that you guys are just like, yo, I'm out there and I'm loving it. And you're going to get, listen, it's okay to be confident. It's okay. Confidence is not vanity. There's a big difference between the two, okay? And anyone who tries to make you feel like, oh, here you are being conceited. Here you are doing this and this and that. I got a few words if you want me to say it. And if that's the case, I can tell it to you, but I have to message you because, I ain't trying to get banned. You know what I'm saying? Ivy, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Oh, Fonz, you've been to NYC. Yeah, guys, just be careful when you come out here. That's all I'm gonna say. Be careful when you come out to New York. It's been kind of crazy out here. It really has been. But there are some places you can go to if you want to visit, some nice places during the summer, but just stay out of certain boroughs, okay? Just stay out of certain boroughs. Stay in Manhattan if you can. Every time my phone goes off, he's always asking, who is it? I've never done anything for him not to. That's because of his conscience. That's because his trust issues, his paranoia. It's always with them. You guys notice you don't look through their phones, you don't go through their things, you don't do any of that, right? You're I'm the same way. Listen, as insecure as I may have been throughout my life, I'm one who sees it this way. If I have to go through your phone, or if I have your phone in my hand and I gotta put the code in to look into it, I'm not even gonna do it. If I have to go through all of that, it makes no sense being with you. It makes no sense being with you. I not once ever had to do that. But unfortunately, the person went through my phone. They went through my phone. Granted, they didn't find anything. And you know what's interesting? And I'll share this with you guys. In my relationship at the time, I had received a text message from a random phone number. Didn't know who it was. And it said, hello. And I'm like, who is this? Is this Erica? Yes. Who is this? Oh, you still have a boyfriend? A random number saying, oh, so do you still have a boyfriend? Like, are you still with someone? And I'm like, and at the time I didn't think anything of it because I'm like, maybe it was someone that I used to talk to like from the past because I had my number for a long time. I never stopped to think maybe it was someone that he may have sent to message me to maybe try to test me or see if I would take the bait. And of course I did respond to the person, yes, I'm in a relationship and I'd appreciate it if you don't play on my phone. You understand? They might do things like that too. They may get their friends to try to reach out to you. I mean, he have quite a few friends, and to be honest, I didn't really pay too much attention to them. There was only maybe two friends, two close friends that I knew personally and by name, but everybody, it could have been anybody. It could have been a random person, and I don't pay attention to things like that. I didn't think about it at that time, but they might actually do that too. They might get someone, a friend of theirs, that will text you from a random number to try to play with you to see if you'll respond, or you'll which is, it's stupid because that's entrapment, but okay, whatever. Oh, Fonz, that's where I'm from. I'm from Brownsville. That's crazy. Be careful, please be careful out there. Be very, very careful. Ginger, he did that to you too. So I probably am not going crazy because now that I think about it, I really wasn't thinking about it at that time. And actually, I not just until like recently, I'm like, maybe he sent somebody to text me. And it's funny because after the discard, someone else called my phone, but they didn't call from a phone number. They call, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with iPhone. They called my phone, and my it was like a FaceTime audio. I think it was FaceTime audio. My email address came out on the screen. So I didn't have like a number or an email or a contact to like call back if I needed to. And someone called for me. I didn't recognize the voice. I didn't know who it was. And it's like, okay, now I got people playing on my phone. Now I have people playing on my phone. Now I got people texting me and calling me, trying to what? Trying to what? It's amazing how they discard you. They go through all of that, but then they still want to play those games. That's just retarded. He was able to have social media up though, not me. I didn't know how to act. His words. Ugh, girl. Let me explain something, okay? I'm gonna explain something to you, okay? When I first started, I had Instagram when I first started with him. And yeah, I put up pictures, Who didn't have an Instagram? And you like to put up cute pictures of yourself, right? You feeling cute today? Oh, selfie, I'm gonna put it up. And he at the time didn't have it. So he would go to my Instagram page and he would look at the pictures. And I would notice that when I would see him in person, his attitude, his demeanor, just like it was kind of off. And I'm like, yo, what's the problem? And he really wouldn't be direct about it. But then all of a sudden he'd come out of nowhere and be like, oh, so I bet you just post up all kinds of pictures on your Instagram and you're doing this and that and blah blah blah. And you got people who probably like all of your pictures and comments. Like he literally went through everything. Okay. From pictures to comments to everything. And you know, at that time I'm not thinking this person is really insecure. They can't handle, I'm not even thinking any of that. My thing was, if you have a problem with me having an Instagram, I'll delete it. I don't have a problem with that. Out of respect, because you do things out of respect for your relationship. You do things out of respect for the person that you're dealing with. Out of respect for you, if this is an issue for you, I will delete it. No, 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 no. I'm not asking you to do that. Okay. But they're not asking you to do that, but then they're constantly bringing it up. They're constantly making it an issue. They're constantly bringing up that you put up a new picture. They're bringing up that you did something else. Or, well, yeah, you got, 5 6 different dudes commenting and looking at you like this or what have you. They they get very jealous. They get extremely, extremely jealous. So even though they're not asking you not to delete your stuff, not to remove it, they're giving you indirects. They're like making it known indirectly that they're not happy with your IG. They're not happy with your social media. They don't want you advertising yourself, even though that's not the case. Ain't nothing going on. In their mind there is. So I was one who was, I'll delete it if you want me to. Okay? I don't want to have any arguments. I don't want to, that means nothing to me. This is more important to me. I'm not thinking about him being insecure. I went and I deleted it. I deleted the Instagram. And interestingly enough, coming towards the end of the relationship, which was when I didn't know it was going to even come to an end, he has an Instagram page. And it's funny because, you know, I get all this guff, I get all this about my Instagram, but towards the end, when the discard, I guess when he was going to run the discard, he opened up an Instagram account. Then all of a sudden, people, he had people that he knew personally following him or whatever. But then he started getting into it, started putting up pictures. And I'm like, wait a minute. Were you not the same person who bitch and moaned to me about my Instagram page, which was why I deleted it when we first started dating, and now all of a sudden you have one? Now here's what he tells me, because I didn't know he made the Instagram page until I got the notification. If you guys, have like Facebook and Instagram, they will send you a notification on your phone saying your friend John Doe has an Instagram account under, whatever name. And I'm like, oh, so, okay, so now we got an Instagram now? Is that what we got right now? And he's like, well, yeah, but, I was just, looking to see, whatever, how it would be. I mean, I'm not doing anything on it. I didn't say that. Then he tells me, if you want me to, I'll delete it. I said, I know. Now I'm thinking he's going to make the right choice. I said, you're a grown man. You're a grown man. I shouldn't have to tell you what to do. And I knew, and he ended up keeping it, which was primarily what really contributed to our discard because, obviously Instagram has a lot of other things on there besides just following people for pictures. And, throughout it all, I was like, wow, you came down on me for having an Instagram, for posting up pictures and doing whatever. And now that I'm coming to you with, mind you, he wasn't direct. I was direct. Now that I'm coming to you about it, it's a problem. Well, I'm not doing anything. I never told you to delete. You never told me to delete my Instagram, but you were giving me all kinds of nasty attitude, all kinds of indirect comments. You were doing all of this, making me feel bad for having this account. Therefore, I deleted it. And then you go and you do this. And this was maybe, I'm going to say, about almost 2 months. Almost 2 months pre-discard. 2 months pre-discard. Okay? Mm-hmm. Oh, yep. Yep. Honey Drip says, wow, exactly what happened to me. It's scary to think we should. Girl, if I'm lying, I'm flying. If I'm lying, I'm flying. And I'm too fat to be flying. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now. I'm too fat to be flying. So, something, and that's how I learned, there were certain things going on. Things just weren't adding up anymore because they get a little taste of it, because you already have them on the pedestal. You guys may have dealt with people who were so insecure, and because you lifted them up, you put them on that pedestal. There you go. You good. You good. They're good now. Now they don't need you anymore because now they have their own conceit. And because they have their own conceit, what do they need with you? Now they got other people giving them attention. Now they got other people, throwing themselves and stroking their, I was about to say stroking their ego, excuse me. But you know what I mean, right? They got all of that, and you got, these, and come on, ladies, you ladies already know how it goes, right? You ladies already know how it goes. Okay, you have females sitting in the background, couldn't wait until your shit broke up, couldn't wait until you guys went downhill, and they put that single status up there. They could not wait, and what happens? Boom, But what they don't understand is what they would be getting themselves into the minute they try to jump in there. Okay? They didn't know what you went through. They didn't know the ordeal you were dealing with. They didn't know the arguments. They didn't know the letdowns and the put downs. They didn't know the manipulation. They didn't know the insecurities and the projections. They were just sitting there looking at your relationship, and you know why? Because you were making it look good. You were putting the cute little diamonds around the frame. You were the one who was painting the beautiful picture because you were admittedly enabling it, but you were the one who was trying to keep everything structurized on the outside while you were falling apart on the inside. And because these people saw that, they could not wait. This is where the haters come in. They could not wait until you two broke up and they saw that that person is single. Now it's my turn. Now I get to treat him. I get to show him what a real woman does, failing to understand that you were the real woman in his life. But if they want a taste of it, go right ahead. Have fun with it because he gonna put you through some shit too. Fellas, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And lo and behold, that's what happened to me. I got put on the back burner because that person's ego was beyond stroked. That person was getting attention. That person was getting all kinds of and I'm looking at these females like, y'all don't even know, man. Y'all don't even know. But the kicker was for me, because at the end of the day, a dude's gonna be a dude. Guys, a girl's gonna be a girl. Anyone who sits there and thinks that getting attention is everything clearly has a lot more to learn. They clearly have a lot more to learn. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the ex started coming back into the picture too, which is common in narcissistically abusive relationships. The exes all of a sudden start popping up and they start coming in the picture. And then that I put the nail in the coffin myself with that one, man. I put the nail in the coffin with that one. Do all narcs look for single mothers and fathers? They look for people that are. You have narcs who look for people that have status. You have narcs who look for people that are givers. You know, like they have to test people out because they don't know everybody just by looking at them. Um, a lot of the time, I personally don't know if it really matters to them because when you have a narcissistic person, you have a narcissist, they don't they don't even consider their own children, let alone their partner's children. Okay, unless they have a way to utilize their partner's children as tools, as but I don't know, like, as far as if they look for mothers and fathers specifically. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Maybe it's a way to utilize both them and their child. But a lot of them, they look for people who can give them something, who can supply them with something, whatever that may be. They look for people that'll make them look good and will give them, that position, that role. Um, I can say with that same breath, I don't know for sure if they would look for parents, only because that would require the parent having to put them as a priority. And anybody knows, as a parent, you put your child as a priority, your child comes first, right? Especially if you're a single parent, your child comes first. So I'm kind of a little like, not really on that one because it would require having your full attention. And if you have children and your children are first priority in your life, they probably wouldn't stay around very long. They probably wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, Chosen says they like you being a single mom, so you're busy and they can do their BS. Yeah, I mean they can do it. They can do it with somebody else who's not a parent too. I mean, again, it's really the matter of you know, more like, oh, thank you, Tune, thank you. It's more like, give me all the attention, me. Like, you got to make me a priority. You got to put me first. You got to put my feelings first, my needs first. That's their, like, that's more their take on it. That's more how they look at things. And, again, they can, if they can utilize you and your child as a tool to, gain whatever it is they want out of any situation, they will do that. I personally would say, for people who have children, especially people who have children, definitely pay very, very close attention to patterns and behaviors, because narcissists, chances are, if they suffer NPD, they probably have other forms of mental illness, and you know they're just a complete hazard and danger for children. They really are. And I mean, whether it be, emotionally, physically, psychologically, they're very damaging for kids, and the toxicity that they create in your life, in your atmosphere, that is, children absorb that too. They see that, they absorb that. You got to remember, they're, like, how they speak to you, how they treat you, is going to be how they treat your kids. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you for the gifts, guys. But that's how they're going to treat your kids, so definitely avoid a case, avoid a charge, and stay away from them. Because I know, if I know you guys love your children and you would do anything to protect your children, and at the end of the day, if we had to choose, we choose our kids. If I chose my son, I'm like, no, I'll just be me and my son. I don't care if I'm an old lady, no boyfriend, no husband, no nothing. I'm a spinster. That's fine by me. I'd rather be alone and happy than be with someone and be mistreated, and be treated as if I'm nothing, or my supply isn't good enough for them, or I need to do things to keep them interested in me. Well, what are you going to do to keep me interested? What? No. For that, I'll stay alone. I have a hand. I'm good. Like, it's not that serious. Yeah, chosen. It's better to be alone than be with someone who makes you feel alone, or makes you feel like you're not good enough, or tries to. Oh yeah, honey drip. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. A lot of people wish they've known, but it's an experience, guys. You live and you learn. You learn from your experiences. You learn from what you've endured, and you learn what to do and what not to do in the next phases of your life. Okay? Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for that. You learn what to do, and you just make better choices. No one's judging you here, guys. No one's judging you here. You guys, I've been there, you've been there, we've all been there. It's just learning from our mistakes, learning where we went wrong with ourselves, where we went wrong. And we can't fix what happened in the past, but you can just set the goals for your future. Okay? Set your standards, set your boundaries, and just be careful who you allow in your life. Okay? People have to earn the position in your life. Your peace is very valuable. Your home, okay, that's your sanctuary. Your homes where your children sleep at night. This is all very, very sensitive. This is a sensitive side of your life. And this is the side of your life that people need to earn their way in. Okay. I'm not saying they have to earn your love. You shouldn't have to earn someone's love. It should be given freely. And as long as it's reciprocated in the correct way, but they have to earn the position to be in your life. Those are the boundaries and the standards you set for yourself, for your family, for your home. That's your safe space. And you should feel safe in your own home. You should feel safe, with the person that you're with. And if that person doesn't, treat you right, or doesn't give you what it is you deserve, Listen, it was fun while it lasted, but I just don't think this is leading to anything. And maybe we should just go our separate ways. I hope you find what you're looking for. That's it. No love lost, right? You did it the right way. And that's the way it should be. Okay. You have to consider what you've gone through and consider what you would be facing, what you would be dealing with again if you don't try your best to make the better choices in your future. Okay. Take this experience with you. Okay. You don't have to ruminate with it. You don't have to keep it as your shield, but just keep it in your back pocket as a reminder. These behaviors are looking kind of familiar. Let me pull this out my back pocket. Yep, yep, yep. And to check it off. If all these behaviors check off with what you've been through, no, no, can't do it. Sorry. Sorry. Try that with somebody else, not me. Okay? That's making the better choices. That's doing what's healthy for you. And if people try to tell you you're being selfish, oh, you think it's all about you, currently, right now, it is all about me. Okay? I don't expect you to understand. I don't expect you to appreciate it. I don't expect you to do anything but respect my decision. That's where you need to be. Okay? People are either going to respect it or walk away. Either way, you know where you stand with them. You know where you stand with them. You guys are strong, diligent, okay? You guys have been through so much, and here you are today. Here you are right now. You're alive, you're healthy, you're learning, okay? You're breathing in that fresh air, okay? You're breathing in that new life. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. You guys deserve it, man. You guys so deserve it. And I've spoken to a lot of you, whether it be through group meetings, on one-on-one, or even in emails, and amazing, awesome people. Awesome people. People I've never met a day in my life, but I got the opportunity to talk to you, even if it's just for one day. And I've only known you for a shorter period of time, and I can tell you, I appreciate you. Oh, thank you for that. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Robert, do they always try to come back? They usually do. They usually do. They usually do. Um, Depending on how bad the discard was, and how bad on the bullet they have to bite. If there is a chance that you will reject them, or if they know for a fact deep down inside you will reject them, they might not. They might not. Because if they know the damage was too severe, they might not come back. If you know who they are and you're hip to their shit, they might not come back. Because you rejecting them, that inflicts narcissistic injury. That will like tear them to shreds. Guys, these people walk around with huge egos. I mean, it's disgusting. The egos are so huge, right? And yet, you give them one little criticism, and it's like, oh my God, it's like a little child going into fetal position. That's how they are. That's how they are. And to show that, because a lot of them get very aggressive and they get very, it's like, okay, I can't show you that I'm weak. So instead of showing you that I'm weak, I'm going to bully you. I'm going to come at you aggressively. I'm going to come at you hard. These are the people who throw stones and then hide their hands. They throw stones and then they hide their hands. And you're left looking around like, who threw that stone? I don't know. And you guys have the power. That's the funny thing. You guys have the power. You already know. You already know what they're capable of. You know what they're about. You already know that someone who is a narcissist, someone who's narcissistic, is someone who's a bully, is someone who is severely insecure. Severely insecure. And when you learn that, when you continue to incept that in your head, when you see them being reactive, when you see them acting the way they do, You learn not to take it personally because it's still issues within them. You're just an insecure little boy or insecure little girl who just really needs a hug. Okay? Who just needs a hug, who needs that nurturing. Your little child, okay, your inner child with the trauma, that's the one who really needs the hug. Because that's the one who deep down inside sits within them. They are walking with someone else's identity. They don't even have their own identity. But because they had all of that shit projected onto them and they utilize that in their everyday life, that's why when you get into it with them, they argue like kids or they throw tantrums. They get like very, it's like why? Why are we fighting over pancakes? I don't understand this. It's seriously, why? Why are we having an argument right now? Okay? It makes absolutely no damn sense. None whatsoever. So let them fight with themselves. Let them fight with themselves. These people got issues. They need to just deal with their own trauma and their own drama. Okay? You guys did your work. You're still doing your work with yourself. Let them deal with themselves. And if they don't want to, look, see, you don't even want to look into a mirror. You don't want to sit in a room by yourself. Even you don't want to deal with yourself. And you expect me to deal with you? No, no. Lewis, she knew me better than me. I'm so lost. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to do another video, okay, with regards to female narcissists. Now that TikTok can make I can make the videos a little bit longer, I'm gonna do another one for you guys. Okay? I'm gonna do another one that's going to have all the pertinent details. And I just want you guys to understand, for any of you fellas who dealt with a female narcissist, for any of you guys who are in the midst of a discard, you just got discarded by her, or please, please, please understand something, okay? That person used, one, your insecurities against you. Two, they used their ability to maneuver and manipulate to really conform you, to really mold you. All right. I've said this last week. I'm going to say it again. Okay. Women can tell when a man is insecure, and women know how to find ways. Okay. And I'm not talking about the good women, because the good women don't need to utilize manipulation. But women who manipulate, female narcissists, female sociopaths, they have ways of exploiting your insecurities, exploiting your trauma, exploiting your past mistakes, anything you do. Okay? And I want you to understand that if you've dealt with a female like this, all right, it had absolutely nothing to do with you. Her emasculating you, her making you feel less of a man, her making you feel like her cheating was your fault, her telling you, oh, you're a piece of S, whatever the case may be. Whatever it is she did had nothing to do with you. It had to do with her and her daddy issues. Okay? Her daddy issues, and more than likely her mommy issues, which is probably the one who incepted in her head because, listen, maybe daddy didn't want to be with the mom anymore and the mom kept the father away from the daughter. I don't know. Okay? Or maybe the father got tired of both the mother and the daughter's bullshit and he didn't want to be around both of them. I don't know. But just know this: her actions towards you, her bullshit towards you, everything she has done to make you feel this small had nothing to do with you. Okay? Nothing to do with you. She was rejected. In whatever way she was rejected. She was rejected emotionally. She was rejected physically. She was rejected psychologically. Maybe she didn't have the kind of male role model in her life. Maybe she had one too many male role models in her life. I don't know what her issues were, but I do know this: her making you feel like shit, her making you feel like less of a man, her making you feel like you're not a provider, that you can't do anything right, whatever she projected onto you, I'm telling you this right now. Get that shit out of your head, because it had nothing to do with you. It's all on her. Okay? She cheated because she's a selfish twat. Straight up. I'm giving it to you straight, no chaser. Okay? She cheated because the opportunity came to her. Maybe she thought she was going to get some kind of, I don't know, status. Maybe she thought she was going to get a Gucci bag. I don't know what their reasons are. But I do know that if she deflects onto you, you're the reason why she did it, she's lying to you. It was not your fault. Okay? She did what she did because she wanted to do it. She made a clear choice. She was very aware. She was very coherent. Okay? It was all on her. Do not take their bullshit. Do not sit there and say to yourself, I'm not a man. Don't sit there and say to yourself, I could have done better. I should have done better. It does not matter. You could have walked up into her bedroom with a penis wrapped in diamonds. She'd have taken the diamonds and still left. You understand what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with you, sweetheart. Don't take it personal, please. I know it's easier said than done, but it had nothing to do with you. Those are her issues. Those are her traumas. Those are her problems. Her problems are not your problem. Her issues are not your issues. And until she decides to get her ass up, okay, how they love to get up and go to the nail salon and spend people's money and do all kinds of crap, when she's ready to get up and try to get the help that she needs because she's doing it on her own, then and only then would I say, maybe consider possibilities, but even then, don't bank on it, okay? You deserve better. Why do narc men abandon their kids? They're selfish. Narc men, it could be narcissistic mothers too. Narc mothers do it too. They abandon their children because they're selfish. They like their autonomy. They don't want kids. Kids are going to take away from their freedom. They're going to take away from their lives. Kids are too much responsibility. They don't want to be around because that means that I have to put everything on hold in my own life because now I got to take care of these kids. That's their attitude. Nope, absolutely, guys. But guys, I know I started the live late today. I know, and I apologize, but like I said, I had to make dinner for little man. I made baked barbecue chicken with rice and beans. Yes, your girl did that. I could cook a mean dinner when I want to. But guys, I thank you so very much for being here tonight. Anybody who's new, who joined, if you managed to stick around up until this point, you're awesome. You are freaking awesome. And everybody else who's not new to the channel, the supporters and all the love you guys show, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. There are some other things that we will discuss next week. I'll be back next week. I'm still working on this video. I'm trying to get all of my details in order, all of my pertinent details and my notes together because I want to make this video of, quality for you guys and hopefully helping to answer further questions. It's a video with regards to the rejection wound and the betrayal wound, okay? And how it interlocks, it correlates with narcissistic abuse and probably giving more of a detailed explanation as to why a lot of victims stay in these relationships and end up marrying these people even after all of the abuse. So I'm still doing my writing my notes and getting that stuff together for you guys. Okay. Oh, you are welcome, guys. I thank you so much. I thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for following, so much for the love and the gifts. You guys are just amazing. And just remember, your support is enough for me. Okay, it truly is. It truly is enough for me. And I thank you. I also wanted to just remind you guys, for April, we have one more Zoom meeting, group meeting. All right. So if you are at least 6 months post discard and you're interested in joining the group meetings, then please send me an email, narcsurvival101@gmail.com. Okay. I'm working out May's schedule, where I'm setting up some one-on-ones and of course the group meetings. And of course, I don't charge for this. Okay. I don't charge for this. The one-on-ones, do go very fast. So if you are interested in a one-on-one, send me an email. So when I set up May's calendar, um, first come, first serve. Okay. So if you're interested in it, guys, please send me the email. Amanda will put the email address for you guys. And the group meetings is pretty much just a group of everybody. We do it on Skype. We talk. We BS. We have fun. We enjoy. It's just our our getaway. Okay, that's what it is. It's our getaway. All right. So if you're interested in that as well, then please send me the email. I'd be more than glad to have you there. Oh, Michelle, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Lawrence, yes, you will heal. Yes, you will heal. Let me tell you something. I suffered codependency for 36 years, okay? I'm pushing 40. 40. So that means almost 4 years I've been in recovery from codependency. And I've always been a people pleaser. I've always been the type that wanted to just make everybody else happy, make everybody else feel good. I still want to do that, but I do it for people who deserve it. I do it for people who deserve it. You understand? There's a big difference. You will heal. Okay? I promise you. Stick around and I'm telling you, anything you need to know, you let me know, and I'll be more than glad to talk over with you, go over everything with you, but you will heal. That is a promise. Okay? And I don't make promises unless I can keep them. Okay? So I promise you, you will. Girl Blue, thank you so much for being here. We got Terry, Angel Eyes. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Lawrence, you will. You will. Okay, I guarantee you, you will. Trina, thank you so much for that. Thank you. And you as well. And you as well. I don't want to feel like I'm mean by doing so. Sometimes you got to put that protective shell, okay? That protective shell until your skin can become like leather, okay? That you have that thick skin. You got to, what is the crabs? Crabs. I watched SpongeBob and I remember when Mr. Krabs, when he grew out of his shell, right? I think he had to like go from one shell to another or something like that. That's what we are. We're like crabs. We gotta wear that protective shell, okay? And that's to keep you protected. That's to keep you safe. And eventually when you're done healing, you'll know when you're done healing and how do you interact with people, how you talk to people, how relationships, you'll know these things. Okay? It'll come to you. It'll come to you naturally. All right? You're very welcome, Lawrence. I thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for showing up tonight. I truly appreciate it. Oh, Bent Not Broken. I'm so glad you were here. I'm so glad you were here. Thank you for being here. Country Club Girl, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you made it tonight too. Thank you. If I didn't get to answer any questions, I apologize. I just I get into it, man. I get into it. I try to answer as many questions as I possibly can. But just you being here and I've seen you guys interacting with each other, which is beautiful. I'm so glad. I'm glad you're able to meet some new people, possibly make some new friends. It's a support group. Okay. We support one another. So just know that you're not alone in this situation and know that you will not be alone. You'll have all the support you need. All right. So guys, I will be back here next week, Tuesday. Promise I'll be on time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. If you have any suggestions or any questions or, anything you'd just like to let me know, then please send me an email or you can go to my Instagram. The link is in the bio. You can go to my YouTube. Link is also in the bio. All right. And I think was there anything else? That's it, right? I think that is it. So I am going to have a late dinner before I go to bed, eat some of that chicken, and then get ready for bed myself. Thank you, Angel Eyes. Thank you. Yes, blessings to you all. I hope you all have a beautiful night, a wonderful remainder of your week, and I hope to see you all next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, guys, my lovelies, have a beautiful night. God bless you all. Love, peace, God's protection, all that good stuff. Nothing but good vibes to you guys, all right? And I'll see you guys next week.